every Attack on Titan opening and ending ranked from worst to best. The definitive edition. This is my third time doing this video. Last one was in 2022. I ain't doing it no more. After this, I'm letting the series rest in peace. But the series is over now. It's time to decide once and for all which theme song is the best. We got openings and endings from every season. We got songs from the specials. We got OVAs. We got the high school parody series. Like I said, this is the definitive edition. The objectively correct ranking for all of these songs. Objectively, it's lit. Starting with number 21, the worst, objectively worst theme song in all of Attack on Titan. Yeah, like I said, this is my third time doing this video as a concept. This will forever be at the bottom of the list. I'm sorry. I mean, it's cute. Adorable even. Kawaii desune and all that. Chibi versions of the main cast, you know, just generally goofing around in various high school settings. 2D assets mixed in with a realistic 3D looking environment. Kind of like, you know, Gumball style animation. You got Eren sticking a recorder up Mikasa's yikes. Artistically speaking, it's cute as hell, right? And also the real life voice actors of Eren, Mikasa, and John singing the song. It does give the whole thing quite a unique sort of familial type charm that none of the other songs do. But this is a video ranking every song in Attack on Titan, and let's be real, outside of the voice actors' inclusion here and some, you know, tongue-in-cheek lyrics about climbing over a wall and fighting for freedom and all that, even though this is a parody series, nothing about this ending feels like Attack on Titan, right? Just a cute little sideshow of an ending that's fun to experience at least once in your life because everyone deserves joy. But yeah, I mean, it's just such a stark contrast in tone from the rest of all these songs on the list. You know, now that I'm thinking about it, honestly, that's kind of what my takeaway would be for the entire series. It's fun to watch, but is it really necessary? I think I'm starting to take this too seriously already. And continuing with number 20, the second worst theme song in all of Attack on Titan, objectively. Objectively. I loved this ending when I first heard it a couple years back. Even now, I feel kind of weird putting it this low on the list, but hey man, I ain't gonna lie, I haven't really gone back to this part of Attack on Titan probably since it came out. I guess this song just hasn't really stuck with me over the years, and to be honest, it's not the most exciting thing in the world to look at. It's kind of boring. Well, boring isn't the right word, because, you know, these particle, like, sort of spermy-like things are fun to watch swimming around here in this one scene. I guess this is supposed to be Zeke's spinal fluid. A lot of brown, a lot of fading to black. This ending feels like I'm either just waking up or beginning to fall asleep, which I guess matches well with the dreamy sort of vibe that this song brings. But even that is kind of like, have you heard the full version of this song? They try to turn it into this weird drum and bass fusion type of thing. It's the kind of song that would be great for one of those really artsy, avant-garde interpretive dances, you know, that you will find at your local performing arts theater. It's one of those. The lyrics are absolutely perfect though. I can never take that away from it. Speaking about this dream being carried on after the original dreamer's death through all the many people's spirits that they've touched during their life. It's kind of like a poem Eren wrote in his final memoir before, you know. The message here is phenomenal, but unfortunately, it's the ending with the least amount of replayability for me easily. You gotta be depressed as hell if you're just walking around listening to this in your spare time. Next up at number 19, the top 20 is underway, boys. It's underway. Moving on to something much less depressing for a moment. I don't think this opening gets enough credit, man. No more enormous naked monsters trying to eat you and your family. No more intense, gritty war campaigns with all this horrific childhood trauma and this seemingly endless struggle for freedom. Nope. Now we got recess, homeroom, and midterm exams.
Take me back! Take me back, please!
This opening, much like the spin-off parody series it represents, it's just this lovely little spoof of Attack on Titan, you know? A much sillier rendition of the classic first opening to the anime series. We'll get to that later. Ymir's dynamic entry just wrecking Reiner's shit, knocking him into the water fountain, you know, protecting the sweet and very wholesome Historia from all these boys and their cooties. My guy would be so proud. This epic recreation of that iconic scene from the Crimson Bow and Arrow opening. Everyone swinging around the classroom using their ODM gear. I get that they tried to make this guy look like a Titan because that's how it was in the original, but like, why is this 45-year-old security guard butterball ass naked in the middle of a junior high school? Someone call the police. I've always appreciated the beginning section, of course, with these chibi versions of Eren, Armin, and Mikasa. Same exact super serious poses from the original opening until Eren, you know, wakes up from this dream of his past life or something. It's awesome. Again, just like the ending, this is leagues away from competing with the pure epicness of the main series, but hey, it does do a great job of introducing this, you know, this wacky little side story. And also, at the end of the day, is Linked Horizon. They don't miss. Next, at number 18. Getting kind of hungry.
Where are you at? Where have you been?
Yeah, I like the rumbling better. That was my first thought, immediately, that popped into my head. This is the ending credits theme for the first special. Attack on Titan, the final season, the final chapter, special 1, the first version, the hour-plus long version, not the episodic version that was split into 3 parts. Yes, I know it's confusing. And yeah, like, the song is cool, I guess. I do like this type of metal music typically. I don't know, man. We'll get to it more when I get to the rumbling. Basically, my issue with Sim is that their lyrics are pretty right on the nose. A little too on the nose, if you ask me. Like, truly Eren's intrusive thoughts towards the end of the story made manifest, and also 100 times more emo because it's sung by a guy that sounds like Jared Worth, and, you know, it has heavy electric guitars in the background. It's kind of cringe, not gonna lie. I'm sorry! The actual ending credits are about what you would expect. Text scrolling up the screen on a black background. Typical stuff. The occasional image flashing on screen, you know. Look at the birds, wings of freedom and all that. Very symbolic. The music video version of this song on YouTube is way better though. Basically just being an AMV version of the first special with slightly transparent lyrics on screen so you can sing along with a trembling visual effect on them because edgy and rumbling. Again, not one of the worst songs in the world or anything. I'm just kind of missing when Attack on Titan themes used to sound like national anthems, you know? They all just ended up turning into songs from Eren's or Mikasa's unhinged emo Spotify playlist. Moving on now with number 17.
Like a fallen angel, touching the cares in me.
I know a lot of people that really like this opening. It's even a lot of people's favorites. I still cannot get over how much of a redheaded stepchild this opening is though. Especially for the first 3 seasons with Studio Attack on Titan. Literally, you could look at every other opening theme and there's explosions here, kaiju battles, absolute chaos on screen, godlike hype music in the background, and then you just have this Red Swan. It really is so much unlike the others. I mean, it's not entirely a bad thing. This opening is still beautiful. It's sublime. I appreciate the theme of everyone sort of, you know, reconnecting with their childhood selves in this more flashback lore heavy section of the story. But again, the entire point of this video is to compare all these songs to each other. And yeah, I'm sorry, Red Swan, it really is just too chill, you know? Visually, it's definitely up there. It is just the energy of this opening, or lack thereof, that holds it back for me, unfortunately. It's just like this is Attack on Titan, you feel me? Like we need action! Regardless of what I say, this is still an absolutely therapeutic listen, as well as just a really cool peek into the history of these characters and, you know, the more peaceful times on parody, if you could call it that. It's a very emotional, yet also very calming type of opening. Number 16. Please don't hate me for my Red Swan take. This is just unsettling, man. The voices singing sound like a bunch of starving children being held hostage in the basement of a church or something. Like it's the souls of all the people that were killed by the Titans throughout the years singing to us the origins of Ymir and the history of devastation that the Titans have wrought in the world across the course of 2,000 years. The grainy, like damaged film filter here adds a lot to the atmosphere, really giving it a found footage type of aesthetic. We see deities and devils. King Fritz trying to secure his legacy by having Ymir's children devour her corpse and inherit the Titan blood. There's so much brutality in this ending, man. The psychopath part of me just revels in it, let me tell you. This ending is low-key a major spoiler for the rest of the story and the history of this world overall, but I kind of like how nobody can really tell. This ending is from season 2 all the way back in 2017, but it includes a lot of stuff that wasn't even revealed in the manga until like 2019, let alone in the anime. Going back and watching this after watching that Ymir backstory episode from the final season, it hits different, man. To you in 2,000 years. Like, the whole plot was right in front of our faces the entire time. This ending is like a serial killer's theme song. It's wicked, and the story it tells throughout is fantastic. I saw a comment under the YouTube video for this, and somebody said, when anime studios got tired of manga readers spoiling shit, so they just decided to spoil manga readers instead. And yeah, facts. That's facts. I think I still like that other song by this band more. We'll get to it. But yeah, a slept-on gem for sure. Next, number 15. Top 15. Objectively. Honestly, I just like this ending because it's focused all on the girls, specifically Annie. She is the spotlight character of this ending, and combined with the vocals of Gemi, Genie, it's just a perfect match, man. This is the ending theme for the 2-part OVA titled Wall Cena Goodbye. Basically just the anime adaptation of a spin-off manga titled The Lost Girls, which tells 2 separate stories of Annie and Stohess just before the 57th expedition, and of Mikasa in this what-if world where she never lost her family. Visually, the ending is okay, nothing crazy, just a bunch of slow panning freeze frame shots of various characters around the district, and of course Annie looking like she's going through the ultimate heartbreak. I think the song title says GV because it's the Gemi version. Gemi? It's a cover of the original song Call Your Name by series composer Hiroyuki Sawano. And while I do think the original version is better, this version ain't all that bad. Again, basically just the female counterpart to the original. It's given Shingeki no Shoujo. It's pretty cool. All right, number 14 now. Should really check on that DoorDash order. Moment of transparency. Despite being from my favorite section of the story, hands down, the return of Shiganshina, this was never one of my favorites. But I ain't gonna lie, after witnessing everything that happens outside the walls, literally the entire rest of the story, it damn near brings a tear to my eye, man. Where did it all go so wrong? I can't say that Attack on Titan was ever a lighthearted story, but man, do I miss those early Scout days, bruh. You know, when everyone was still alive. This ending is just one giant tribute to how things used to be. And honestly, you know, because of the whole Marley thing and the studio switch, sort of like a swan song for what Attack on Titan used to be in general. The series that we all fell in love with. My favorite shots here gotta be Eren, Mikasa, and Armin as kids on the steps of Shiganshina. Instructor Shadis putting all the scouts to be through boot camp. Gotta love Sasha and the potatoes. Historia leading the gang through this really fierce snowstorm. Metaphorically, of course, because, you know, Queen. Mikasa, Armin, Reiner, Eren, Sasha, Connie, among others, traversing through this forest with their ODM gear, the wires looking extra clean, and of course, how could I forget, the entire unit marching towards the sunset at the end. This ending is so good, man. It will make an outsider think that it's the ending. And again, it kinda is once you think about it. Everything would change forever after this season, both in verse as well as behind the scenes. All right, number 13 now, barreling through those teams, getting closer and closer to that top 10. This is just pure nostalgia for me, man. Them early Attack on Titan days, nah, they was special. I remember watching this on Toonami back in the day. Adult Swim's Toonami, I should specify. I cannot believe it's already been a decade since Toonami's return, yo. That is disgusting. I don't even watch TV anymore. Bro, this ending is so well animated. During the verse, we get this pretty dope scene of the gang posted up against the wall like it's a police lineup or something, with Studio Mikasa supremacy. Even the potatoes got a cameo here. Turn the corner, we see the rest of them. The gang. This is awesome. Of course, we got the trademark emo Mikasa scene in the rain, filled with despair, yearning, and shit. Once the chorus comes in, though, this is where, yeah, we cooking. We get this action sequence of all the scouts attacking this miscellaneous Titan. The animation is so crisp, bro. It's beautiful. The shading, the line work. Honestly, the art style kind of reminds me of a Bleach opening like Veronica Shoujo S, also one of my favorites. The song too absolutely slaps. A total 180 from the other Cinema Staff song that we just talked about. High energy, sort of punk-leaning rock music that it could have been an opening, to be honest. Just look at it. Yeah, man, this ending just really helps to remind you, especially a new fan, just really helps to remind you how fast the series is picking up. Only a mere 14 episodes in. And again, it's just so damn beautiful, man. Yo, that scene of all the scouts saluting in unison with the sky in the background, time-lapsing with all the stars in the sky, and yo, come on, bruh. Top 5 ending for me, easy. You lying if you don't say this shit don't look great. Number 12. Shout out to all the hate watchers that's still sticking around. I say this every time I talk about this opening, but this song really sounds like it could be a country's national anthem, bruh. It's just so damn patriotic. And the title of the song, too, literally the name of the Scouts emblem, is so cool. I guess I'll get straight to the point. It's a great follow-up to the Crimson Bone Arrow opening, that's for sure. But it will never surpass it. Sorry. The first half of the opening is awesome, but the second half is kind of a letdown, I ain't gonna lie. I feel like there's just like a better way they could have integrated these credits here, you know? Instead of just inserting text boxes with random equipment also is in the background. If you watch the creditless version of this, like the one I'm using for this video, you can see how it doesn't really work nearly as well as it should. But that's a nitpick, to be honest. The opening is not only patriotic, it's also just metal as hell. Eren gets the classic underwater emo scene that has to go in every anime at some point with the main character. They all have to drown in their sorrows at some point, right? And then Armin gets bathed in the blood of his enemies. What is going on? We see all the top 104th cadets staring off into this beautiful amber sunset, close-ups of each of them fading on and off screen. We got Titans terrorizing the Stohaz district. Commander Erwin, of course, gets some screen time. We see Titan blood flowing through Eren's veins. It's a lot going on, man. This opening is relentless with the visuals. This was, of course, used for the latter half of season 1, where the drama really started to begin piling up. Again, the 57th Expedition, any Attack on Titan fan knows what I'm talking about, is heat. This opening kept the same energy, let me tell you. Again, the credits do kind of get in the way here, interrupting the action and whatnot, but it's not that big of a deal. The song kind of carries. All right, number 11. I hope you're ready.
If I lose it all, I will never look away.
Well, we finally made it, boys. I'm sure the reason why you are all here today, you know, the elephant in the room. This opening took over the internet in 2022, man. And I will admit, it was a great meme, but I'll also admit, I don't think this opening has aged well at all. The song is good in isolation. Again, I like metal music. This is right up my alley. But I mentioned earlier in the video how I just think Sim's lyrics are a little too emo and edgy and melodramatic. It's kind of cringe after you listen to it enough times. But no. I feel like the real issue with this opening, I don't know, in recent years, correct me if I'm wrong in the comments. In recent years, I feel like this has kind of become the symbol of everything that people kind of hate about Attack on Titan now. Or I guess more specifically, Eren's character dissension. Like, I'm not gonna lie, this opening is low-key grown into the school shooter red pill incel anthem. I feel like the sort of people that swear by this being the best opening probably also listens to Andrew Tate.
fuck you, ho. You ain't gonna do shit.
I'm not trying to turn this into a socio-political thing, but yeah, like, to put it simply, this opening was epic at first. That's for sure. But nowadays, people do just kind of point at it and laugh, because it does, in a lot of ways, represent how the story basically just boiled down to a traumatized kid's giant temper tantrum because he never went to therapy. Putting all that to the side, though, I mean, I can't lie, this opening, the animation in this opening slap. The scene of Eren walking on top of the walls always hits hard. All of the depictions of the rumbling, Mappa really cooked, yo, I ain't gonna lie. It's an opening that a lot of people can't really take seriously nowadays, me included, but it is still very metal, if nothing else. And I do like metal music. All right, boys. Number 10, the best of the best, the cream of the crop. This is another pick that's just pure nostalgia for me, man. Kicking off our top 10, everything from the Wit Studio era of Attack on Titan. The first season specifically, it just hit different, man. It hit different in 2024. In case you didn't know, Mikasa is my favorite character in this entire series. For all intents and purposes, this is the Mikasa ending. Or at least it was for a very long time. This is one of those that I feel like it's only right to listen to this song at night, you know? Love this delayed frame rate filter here. This sort of stencil-like outline style artwork here really just helps emphasize that dreamy sounding music, you know? Listening to the song build up intensity as Mikasa finds herself lost in and surrounded by the memories of her slaughtering her own family. This is art. This is art. If you don't get goosebumps staring into Mikasa's eye, spoiler alert too, by the way. If you don't get goosebumps staring into Mikasa's eyes in this one scene, then you just must have no soul. I could honestly watch this on repeat all day and it would make me tear up every single time. Not just because of the wonderful character study for Mikasa here, but again, man, the nostalgia is real. The piano at the beginning, bruh, it just, you know, it instantly just takes me back to 2012, 2013, when this story was still new and I was just getting put on and Toonami just came back, yo, the prime of my youth. Comparing this to the rumbling opening, which I just talked about, it's almost like it's two completely separate series. This ending just makes me want to give Mikasa a hug. She's been through a lot, bruh. And it's also sung by the voice actor of Shoukei from Kingdom, which just adds an entirely new level of depression and cold-heartedness to it. I love it. Next up, number 9. This ending has been a big point of discussion for me in the weeks leading up to this video. It's the ending credits for the second special, the one that came out in November of last year. Basically the finale to the entire story, and yeah, I mean, I'll try not to give away too many spoilers, but this ending sort of hints to a continuation of sorts. For the most part, it's just your basic credits reel. You've seen it before. But off to the side, we follow a time lapse of the iconic tree that Eren, Armin, and Mikasa used to always chill at right outside of the Shiganshina district. In the background, we see the environment cycling through all 4 seasons, while the tree just steadily grows larger and larger. A whole metropolis eventually is then built on top of where Shiganshina used to be, until that is eventually bombed to ruins in some sort of military attack. A young boy and his dog then eventually emerges from the rubble to discover a giant tree. Yes, that tree. The same tree that Ymir stumbled across over 2,000 years ago, which granted her the original power of the Titans in this beautiful little moment of history repeating itself. Now, whether or not Attack on Titan deserves a sequel series is a different debate for a different day, but regardless, I do think this ending is a fascinating little epilogue to the story, I must say. The song, once again, Linked Horizon, they don't miss. This band being the final thing that we hear from this story was always the correct decision. It kind of sounds like a funeral song for in the title of the song too. It's a tease, bro. Sequel story confirmed. 20,000 years in the future, let's go. And the lyrics, I mean, it kind of goes without saying. The lyrics are always very poignant. What can I say? As an ending song for the finale of the entire story as a whole, couldn't have asked for more, man. On to number 8 now. Have you figured out what my top 10 is yet? This was always my favorite ending, yo, until Mappa came through and said, hold my beer, I guess. Starting with the children's choir at the beginning. Absolutely beautiful. The goosebumps, bro. The goosebumps. Cue the symbolic doves as they fly over a meadow, past all these horrific titans, and over the wall, flying past a young Historia Rice, watching peacefully from the Rice family farm, and eventually as it flies all the way into the Shiganshina district, where this entire story began. We had the Annie theme, we had the Mikasa theme. This is Historia's theme, just to complete the best girl trio. It's pretty much her coming of age story, which is perfect timing because around this time in the story, we, the audience, were starting to learn the true history. See what I did there? The true history of the Rice family. The descendants of King Fritz from long ago. King Fritz being the person that Ymir basically gave up her life for. The first half of this ending is basically just Historia trying to find her place in the world, you know, like most teenagers. Though, I guess, you know, most teenagers probably have never been in a situation like this. We get the classic emo drowning scene. Historia meeting the other Ymir. Good stuff, good stuff. This scene of everyone standing and saluting to the Scouts flag during the bridge of the song, it gets me every time, man. The only other time that this is done better is, spoilers, keep watching the video. The music just sounds so big, bro. So big and grand and inspiring. The perfect word I'd have to use to describe this ending would be exquisite. It's regal, man. It sounds like royalty. Again, the first half of season 3 wasn't, you know, the most exciting thing in the world, but this ending was always my shit. I stand by my take that this is infinitely better than the opening, Red Swan. Sorry, not sorry. Number 7 now. The lucky number 7. I think we've reached the point of the video where, yeah, I'm kind of just comparing a bunch of Link to Horizon songs to one another, aren't I? They make all the best music, bruh. This is the opening for the episodic version of the first special, which was only aired in Japan. Right away, I feel like this should have been the opening instead of the rumbling. Like, doesn't this just feel way more like Attack on Titan than whatever the other teenage emo phase of an opening the rumbling turned out to be? Link to Horizon, check. Huge epic battle sequence, check. Tons and tons of callbacks to past moments in the story and, you know, connecting the dots throughout time. This whole sequence here of Eren shooting this arrow and it spontaneously combusting and eventually turning into a phoenix flying off into the sky. This is just metaphorical brilliance. All of the action here is high intensity, high impact. You feel every single punch, man. The music, this is the sort of energy that the final arc in Attack on Titan deserves. The song is also basically a combination of all the other theme songs from the anime. Sasageyo, Crimson Bow and Arrow. If you listen closely and read the lyrics, yeah, Link to Horizon took elements from all the other openings and endings to make this a truly all-encompassing, all hands on deck. This is the culmination of all of our hard work type of song that, again, is the sort of energy that this final battle against Eren deserves. All right, number 6. I got my DoorDash, boys, and boy, is it smelling good. From beginning to end, this opening is nothing short of a pure adrenaline rush. Wall to wall, balls to the wall action the entire time. Which is justified, to be honest, because this entire season was one big battle. The slow motion, bro, the scouts leaping off a wall, Maria, Levi about to stand on business, the Colossal Titan just casually knocking down buildings like it's my father at 3 a.m. drunk as hell knocking down me and my cousin's pillow forts. No, I do not have trauma. This absolutely epic scene of Eren and Reiner squabbling. Bro, look at the debris coming off of his face, man. The particle effects everywhere here is just mesmerizing. On the rocks, the flames, the sparks. Nah, this shit go hard. And if you thought that was all, well, the rest of the OP is even more chaos. More explosions, more soldiers fighting, more lore. Anarchy! I feel like Eren when he had that vision of the future where he saw everything that was about to happen all at once in like 3 seconds. Yeah. This is peak Attack on Titan for me, man. The Eren and Levi episode, it's been goated. It's up there. It's one of the greatest episodes in anime history. It's up there with Gohan turning Super Saiyan 2. Rest in peace, Toriyama. This is Attack on Titan at its most batshit insane. And again, man, look at the debris. Everything's just so granular. Yeah, this opening is fight music through and through. Every time I get done watching this, I feel like I need a cigarette. I feel like watching this, I feel like I just busted the greatest. Number 5, top five, objectively. Ow, my elbow. Well, I guess Mikasa wouldn't be true best girl if she didn't get 2 endings, huh? Really just sticking it to the rest of them like, no, I am the true secondary character of this story. Damn, not even Armin got an ending. And everybody knows Armin is best girl. Once again, this is the ending theme song to the episodic version of the first special, not the one that was an hour-and-a-half long movie. The only reason any of the endings make it up this high on the list, honestly, is just because it gets me in my feelings. And yeah. Yeah. Before we even talk about the song, this art style is everything. I'm loving this minimalist, almost Ghibli-esque cartoonish style here. It adds a real sense of innocence to Mikasa's whole character journey, which is wonderfully portrayed here. You know, all she ever wanted this entire time was just to be by the side of the person she loves and admires, someone that gives her a reason worth living, even if said person only sees her as a tool to achieve his ultimate goal. This entire thing comes off like a dream Mikasa's had probably plenty of times, just reminiscing about the old times with Eren. The one she fell in love with, not whoever this heartless genocidal maniac is come the end of the story. The piano keys hitting, bruh! And of course, the beautiful voice of Ai Higuchi serenading my ears. The entire time, this mix of emotions within me overflowing about just like, you know, how the hell we got ourselves in this predicament to begin with. This ending is a very touching yet bittersweet tribute to Eren and Mikasa's relationship, and is undoubtedly one of the biggest gut punches of a song on this entire list. It's beautiful and tragic. Beautifully tragic, if you must. And yeah, that kind of sums up the end of the story pretty well. Number 4. I'm in my feelings now, man. This is just on a different level. This ending's message, bro. The symbolism here. This is Eren's entire character journey basically being dissected for about 1.5 minutes, and it's nothing short of spectacular. Starting as a child, being completely engulfed by darkness, Eren walks through this field of blood-soaked flowers. Metaphors. That is, until the infamous scarf around his neck that he gave to Mikasa then shapeshifts into this glowing bird, you know, wings of freedom. More metaphors, which then soars through the sky all colorful and shit, with the absolutely incredible vocal range of Ai Higuchi on full display once again. This bird is eventually snuffed out by a cage that surrounds it and Eren. The cage then subtly vanishes though, which then allows for all this color and light to begin saturating both Eren's environment as well as his outlook on life as a whole. We see beautiful panning shots of various districts from Parody now all overtaken by nature after being abandoned for so long, until Eren then reappears on screen, though this time, and even though the flowers are now radiating all types of colors and hues that he's never seen before, he's just way too far gone himself to be able to appreciate the world around him now. And he disappears at the end almost like a candle that's been blown out. Again, with those same colors from before, from the bird and the flowers, now shrouding him like flames. Flames of hatred, I guess you could say. The entire time, Ai Higuchi has just been pitting in the performance of a lifetime, bruh. It's the anime's best outro song, no mistake. You can't convince me. An absolutely immaculate summation of how and why Eren unfortunately became so jaded. Still only number 4 though on my list because, I mean, let's be real, openings just have an unfair advantage. Alright, boys. Number 3, the heavy hitters, man. The time for fun and games are over. I think it took a little bit for this opening to grow on me, but this shit heat, bro. This don't even slap. This is a literal fight to the death. It's huge. It's bombastic. Visually, I guess people could call this opening simple, at least in terms of structure and direction. But sonically, this is Attack on Titan as fuck. This is the most Link to Rising sounding song I think I've ever heard, and it's not even by them. This song literally sounds like you're just listening to an active war zone. It's actually quite impressive that the same band that made the very eerily calming yet creepy Birds at Dusk ending from before also made this, which sounds like continuous funk flex bombs going off in my head. I remember when this season first aired. It was the first Mappa season. It was a very controversial section of the story. Let's just say that. And a lot of people hated this opening, or at best just didn't really care for it like me. But nah, 3 years later, I think it's absolutely perfect. This could be another analysis of Eren's descent into madness. I guess I can understand if this whited out, almost ceramic-like filter isn't everyone's cup of tea, especially comparing to the previous opening right before this, the one from the Return to Sasageyo. But honestly, I think this is meant to be like a subtle type of, it's kind of meant to be this like blank canvas that Eren sort of sees the world as now, the real world, which he can now use all these explosions and terror and chaos to now write and color in the outlines of his own history. To me, this opening represents just how much Eren and the story has completely fallen off a cliff. For better or for worse. Number 2. Oh my god! What could it be? This opening is the Attack on Titan theme song, period. Whether or not you've stuck around for the Mappa switch and, you know, the end of the story, whether you're a casual or a hardcore fan, everyone, I think, recognizes this as the definitive song for the series. Besides maybe one other song, no spoilers. Like, every single scene in this opening is iconic. Starting off with this epic shot of the main cast standing amidst all this carnage and destruction. Reiner, Bertolt, Annie, Marco, Jean, Connie, the gang's all here. Until it then closes in on the main three, Eren, Armin, and Mikasa. And it's a small detail, you might not notice it first time watching, but I love this little subtle addition of everyone being lost in thought, right? But then Mikasa just here staring at Eren the entire time because that's her only focus. We see all sorts of Titans terrorizing the Shigashino district, depicting the start of the story, until all the cadets then salute and bravely charge into battle. Of course, we got to talk about the legendary scene of everybody flying around the district using their ODM gear, the movement, the camera work. It's the AMV stuff of legend. There's religious iconography everywhere, callbacks to various art from the manga, which is cool. Jean gets an awesome slow motion backflip kick. I think this is Jean. It's kind of hard to tell. 11 years later, and this is still the best advertisement Attack on Titan could ever ask for. I'll probably be using this opening as a way to recruit new fans to the story for as long as I live, most likely. As for me personally, yeah, again, I've said it before, one of the last memories I have of being a youngin' watching Toonami in the past before streaming became a huge thing and rendered anime television blocks obsolete. Without a doubt, this opening is the heart and soul of Attack on Titan. Or hold it right there. Hold that thought. And now, number 1. Ho. What could it be? I just called Crimson Bow and Arrow the heart and soul of Attack on Titan. And, well, I was half right. Crimson Bow and Arrow is the soul of the series, for sure. It's the song that probably best represents the tone of the entire story overall. However, this is without a doubt, for me, at least for me, objectively, this is the heart of Attack on Titan. Link to Rising does not miss, and honestly, if you ask me, this is Link to Rising's magnum opus. This shit moves me, man. Take all the catchiness of the first OP, take all the patriotic pride of the second OP, and just the sheer intensity of something like the My War opening, mix it all together, and you know you got the best of both worlds. Immediately, the best part of this entire thing is the scene of all the scouts descending Wall Sina, charging into a horde of Titans, a crowd of people chanting Sasageyo in the background, everyone's hearts glowing as they do the salute, and they'll probably all die. Perfection. Hairs standing up on my arms. I think the buildup of this entire opening might be why I like it so much. It starts with everyone just generally preparing for battle, getting dressed and whatnot. As the song picks up more and more lore and politics is then introduced through Historia and the Armored Titan. The Colossal Titan hiding inside a wall scene has always been a great shot, and yeah, from here, it just explodes, man, both in sound and in animation quality, because here is where we get the most visually impressive section. Through the smoke, the Colossal Titan charges and sends shock waves throughout the battlefield. John on horseback is dodging all these flying boulders, and Mikasa flies past them all to launch Eren directly into the face of the Titans so that him and Reiner can get to squabbling. I've done this video 3 times now, and every single time my top pick has remained the same. It's Sasageyo. I'm going to choose Sasageyo every time. World War III still hasn't happened yet, thank goodness, but I'm telling you, boys, all we need is this song. First, to try and establish some sort of alliance with the Japanese, hopefully. But also, I'm telling you, yo, if we just listen to this song, if you listen to this before heading into like a boxing match or like a big football game, an important exam that determines your future, a job interview that also determines your future, even if you just need something to hype you up before sliding into this baddie's DMs that you met in the Discord server, all you have to do is just throw this song on, watch all your fears just melt away. Thanks for watching.